Hello everyone, I'm Adam from CLNotes. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a quick lesson with teacher-selected vocabulary words and automatically created activities from a teacher-selected CLNote. And in this video, I'm actually going to use the CLNote that I created in the last video just to make it a little simpler to follow. Now, in order to select your own vocabulary words, we have to get to the CLNote. And there are two ways of doing this. One is, as you saw last time, when we finished saving the TED Talk CLNote, it opened the CLNote screen. Well, this time I'm going to actually go into some of my notes and find that particular CLNote in my own database. And so when you create a new CLNote, it goes into an area called My CLNotes, as you can see on the top right here. I'm going to click on that, and this is going to load up all of my CLNotes. And you can see I have a lot of different CLNotes here. And I'm going to try to find the one that we did last time. And I can see that it's here, the TED Talk that I created. Once you find it, you can double click it, and it will open up that screen that we saw last time. And so once again, we're here on the CLNote page. And after you've opened this up, we can now go through and we can select some vocabulary words that perhaps we want our students to learn, or we want to quiz the students on, things like that. Now, depending on the students, depending on the teacher, there are some different dictionaries that we can use for this. At the top of the page, you see the dictionary button. We have it set as English dictionary by default, which means that when you search for things, it will give you the English definitions for the words. But for example, if you're Brazilian, you might choose the English Portuguese one. If you're doing Spanish, maybe you want, or if you speak Spanish as a native language, you might want to select the Spanish one, etc., etc. So it's set already on English to English, so I'm not going to change that. I'm going to go down now, and now I'm going to select some vocabulary words that perhaps my students don't know, or ones that I feel that they might not know. And so going through here, who knows, maybe they don't know words like secret, for example. And when you select words, it will show you the definitions of the word. So when you select words, it will show you the definitions of the words. And as you can see here, the definitions are not always perfect, because when you're searching things up in a dictionary, there are so many different definitions. I'll show you how to change some of those definitions in just a little bit. But first, let's choose some vocabulary words. Now, once in a while, when you select a word, you will get this pop-up, which means that the word wasn't found in the dictionary that we're using. And in this case, it's the word chat. So we can right away add our own definition. So for example, chat, to talk with, to have a conversation. And what this will do is create that definition right on the spot. So you click save, and now the word chat, and you see that it was a word that was not found because of the orange underline, but you can see that it now has the definition that I added for it. Okay, so I've selected a whole bunch of vocabulary words here, and it's important that you select enough vocabulary words, because if you don't select enough, you will not be able to create some of the activities. Like, for example, the crossword puzzle requires at least 15 vocabulary words in order to create the crossword puzzle. So after you've selected all of the vocabulary words that you want your students to know, we're going to go back up to the top here, and we're going to click Save. So if you look at the top here, it is updated, and you can see that we have 32 key terms. That means 32 vocabulary words that we selected. which is great because that means we have enough to make any kinds of activities that we might want to make for the students later on. But some of the vocabulary words that we selected, perhaps their definition in the dictionary was not quite what we wanted, or there was something perhaps we want to change, or maybe it's just some word or expression that we'd like to maybe define a little bit differently than it may be defined as in the dictionary. So at the top here, let's click on the Reading tab. And from there, we're going to click on the button here that says Key Terms. Now, this lists all of the vocabulary words that we selected earlier. Don't worry if some of them are not spelt exactly the way that they were when you selected them, because some of them perhaps had some grammar conjugation after it or something. So, for example, tell here might be like tell, like to tell someone something. Now, I recall that the word secret had a very strange definition. And if we look here, it's using a very weird old Middle English definition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this definition, and I'm going to rewrite a definition for the word secret here. So I'm going to go in and write something that you do not tell other people. Maybe some fact that you want to keep unknown, something like that. And so that's our new definition for this word. And I really like that feature about CLNotes, because you can basically make any definition. And if you're teaching, for example, a group of people who do not have a high level of English, you can deliberately simplify some of the words even further than perhaps the dictionary even does. So once you've redefined it, let's click Save. And now it has a star next to it, which means now this word will be changed in the text, and we'll be able to now see the definition that I put in there. And we can also look at some other ones here, for example, like podcast. Look below here, and you can see that there are a few different definitions. We can actually choose to hide or show certain definitions. I actually like the first one here, an audio program produced on a regular basis. And the second one here doesn't seem quite as accurate. So let's just take away this definition. And there we go. Now we only have the one definition that we want for it here. Another cool thing is you can see the vocabulary word in context in the little gray box above here, just in case you want to clarify the meaning of the vocabulary word. Just like last time, let's press Save now. All right. So now we have kind of gone through and checked some of the vocabulary words. Let's go back to CLNotes and click Save. And if we scroll down now and look for that vocabulary word that we just edited, so if we go down here and find, for example, secret, we can now see here that in blue, there's the definition that I just wrote in there. Now, there's one last thing that I would like to show you before we finish here, and that is the ability to do an annotation of an entire sentence, or for example, an expression, or if you're teaching a class on science or history, maybe some fact that you'd like to highlight. So to do that, we're going to click on the Reading tab here, and we're going to go to Annotate. Now let's scroll down and see if we can find an expression or something. For example, this right here. It suddenly dawned on me. So once you highlight that, it will give you the option to create, for example, a definition. You can also just write a comment or give an example of it as well. So another cool thing is it will also give you the option to add this annotation as a vocabulary word or something that you can include in the activities, for example, like on the quizzes. So what I'd like to write about this one, this expression means to suddenly get an idea or to have a new idea about something. So now that I've written in my own definition for this, I click Save. And just like before, now I can actually see the definition for an expression, which is really convenient for example, some classes. Now, once all of this is done, once again, I just created something new, so I'm going to save it. And now, let's make some activities from this. So let's go back to my CLNotes, and we're going to go down to find the CLNote that we were just working on. We're going to click it, and then we scroll back up here, we have the option to import to class. So we're going to import it to our PM class that we had before. And once you've selected your class, click Import CLNotes. So we've successfully imported the CLNote. Now let's go to our class. So we just imported it to this class here. And now we see our activity here. It's available for our students to take a look at. And when the students open it, they will also see all of the vocabulary words that we have chosen for them. So if the teacher chooses some vocabulary words, they're all ready for the students right here. So now we're going to click on this. So make sure we click the box next to it. So after we've checked this box here, we're going to click on the plus sign here. And this will give us some options for some activities that we can create. I'd like to create a crossword puzzle game for my students from this CLNote. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to check this box here. So from the teacher's selection, the vocabulary words that I have chosen. And then I'm going to give it a title, How to Learn a New Language Crossword, and then activity description. Please complete this for homework today, and click Create Activity. And we get a little pop-up here that says that we have successfully created it. Once we finish creating the activity, a pop-up will come up. And as you can see here, my internet has blocked that pop-up. So I'm going to click Allow Pop-ups and then click Done. And then I can go to that pop-up, and it shows me what the crossword puzzle looks like that I just created. So you can see here that we have the expression that I just found a moment ago, and all kinds of vocabulary words here for students to fill in after they've done the reading or the listening or however you delivered the CLNote in your classroom. I'm going to close this window and go back. So that's how we create activities. But remember, just like I said in some of the previous videos, in order for the students to get the activities, we have to go to the Activity Manager, and then we have to assign the activity to the students. So you have to make sure that you assign it. If you do not click Assign, the students in the class will not receive the activity. So I just clicked Assign, and now all 20 students got the crossword. So now the students have access to the activity, and they have access to the course material. So that's how you can make a CLNote with your own selected vocabulary words and then create activities for that customized CLNote. If you have any questions, please send me an email. Until next time, bye-bye.